with some runaround. I had some entity attachments that got stolen. To get my shit back, go through hell just to get my shit back. Shit that belongs to me on my motherfucking body. And it's coming from Maria Tavares. Got my fucking whatchamacallit all over the fucking floor. I don't have time for this. I had Baron Samedi and them being told supposedly they were being manipulated by Maria Tavares. You know, coming from a particular timeline to help put me back together as best as I can. And I noticed, you know, I couldn't get certain things back inexplicably. And with that being said, these motherfuckers are open. They were open yesterday. I believe they were open today. It's just, I feel like it's unnecessary hell to get my shit back. And, you know, if I use frequencies, I almost lost my subtle soul consciousness to Maria Tavares. She's doing something where it's placed in her consciousness. And I'm going to show you who she looks a lot like, but prettier. Look a lot like that woman there, except she has, I think, green, light green. I don't want to say light green, you know, but green or bluish like eyes. I think green eyes, Lithuanian heritage. I heard in the spirit plane. She has a very small nose. She looks like a Univision television star when I saw her. She looks more consanguineous with that. With her, it's a woman with high cheekbones. It kind of reminds me of Tears for Fears, but from what I remember, she looks a lot like that. That lady. Anyways, with that being said, she took a lot of my soul consciousness early this morning, took out entity attachments of my Archangel Michael and all of that. I saw it in the spirit plane. It's irrevocable, especially when I went through a spiritual experience a couple of weeks ago. Puts it into her consciousness. She made a deal or something in the spirit plane. I believe her lower self, the reader's name who sicked this on me, who I got a reading from, her name is Elsie, Elsa, or Eliza Solano. I think that her whatchamacallit name is Vargas, her maiden name, Vargas or Martinez, and her soul consciousness, I believe, is you know, I may give that out. I almost want to say it, but anyways, with that being said, I'm going through fucking hell. It's hard for me to even fucking think without this bitch being able to see my fucking thoughts and act on it and start attacking. You know, it's like the minute I fucking think something, she, you know, knows it, hops on it, attacks, and that's because her consciousness, as Baron Samedi was showing me, is attached to mine, and she's been manipulating him, his soul consciousness. As I say, he's a bloodline relative of mine. He part of my bloodline. I couldn't even mention that yesterday because I started getting fucked with really, really bad by it, to the point of damn near death. She's done taken over my subtle body consciousness. I'm being told, you know, play 3002 hertz, but I don't want to. There's somewhere it mixes up shit and makes shit even worse. 1150 hertz, I know is good for getting, you know, shit out of people. 1150 hertz, you might try to manipulate. Who cares? 1150 hertz is good for that. I can't even tell if it's my higher self or hers. You know, I woke up this morning with a dream, a nightmare rather, of, you know, hearing Tears for Fears, everybody wants to rule the world. And, you know, it correlated from what I understand to her taking over my consciousness. That's why, because my higher selves will turn into her. When they do, they look like her. You know, your higher selves mix with folks, you know, who, you know, your family, your ass out. They look like the Tears for Fears motherfuckers. When she does. One of my higher selves is pissed off about it. So anyway, she's, you know, I'm down to the subtle soul body consciousness. I can't even use black kyanite. She's done infected and invaded so much of my soul consciousness. If only I had a good spirit team. I saw the spirit plane. You know, a lot of my shit's mixed Look, I even got the 9 of swords. That's not good. With negative, evil ass motherfuckers who cursed me. You know, one of them was connected to, one of my cells was connected to a motherfucker that cursed me. Timeline starting Pacific Palisades. With that being said, I'm sick and tired of this fucking bullshit. And I'm just, you know, I got to get my shit back in. Say she took some entity attachments and, you know, grade for abetment, and it's just, I hear these evil, she keeps turning my father back, going back to that August the 22nd, 2022 timeline where I got soul swapped into a Dubbick. I feel like I only got half of my consciousness, and I just want to make sure I do the right thing, because I don't want my fucking archangels and all of that, which is already happening with my Archangel Michael and all that, getting mixed up with hers, and having my enemies preside over me. That's how you die in your sleep. You know, as a matter of fact, I had some old stupid ass nigga bitch pass me by yesterday talking about, you know, I wear my Trump hat for spiritual protection. It protects my crown. And she made a comment saying, Trump? And I just looked at her and I say to a point blank, bro, look, I'm dealing with something right now that's very, very severe spiritually. It could fucking kill you in your sleep. You do not want me putting that on you. You want to see a problem? I'll give you a problem. I don't fuck around. You want to be concerned about pedestrian, stupid, silly, fucking inane, insipid, irrelevant, ingermane shit like that? I'll show you a problem. Put yourself in my fucking shoes. The shit I'm dealing with is real, and I'll show you. Back in the day, I didn't play around with fucking folks. Anybody who followed me from way back in the day, yeah, I see the tower. I know a tower event is coming. I don't care. You know, deal with something where you get your consciousness removed out your body. You get your soul consciousness, like what's happening with me, getting taken out, raped of it every single fucking night, to the point where, it, you know, that shit's crucial. It's a record. It's like the Cashapp records. It's a record of your life. Have that taken out. It's vital in the spirit world, like your blood. Without it, you don't have an identity. You need it. Just like with your consciousness. Your consciousness gets taken out your head. There goes not only your identity, who you are, but your life. And it's getting crucial to that point. You know, she fucked up bearing Samity, and that's, you know, fucking up a lot, because he's part of my bloodline. As well as my parents, especially going back to that August 22nd, 2022 timeline. My Godhead can't even act right because of that. That's why it's good to have when you incarnate a spiritual ally, like a Baron Samony or Shun or something, because, you know, God is ubiquitous, but he works as a bureaucracy. You know, as I say before, you know, the Cometians, I believe, instituted the, you know, God industrial complex starting on the moon, you know, commencing on the moon back in the day, which was actually, in fact, a satellite. A lot of people say that are right. And then, you know, created him from a sacrifice, which is Jesus, a.k.a. Jesus. They're going to do something with that where they change it where I can't get spiritual help. I hate this wetback bitch. I almost want to choke the shit out of her. But I'm not a violent person. I'm too smart for that. Listen, I don't like confrontation. I do it unless it's very, very necessary. You know, there's always another way to get a motherfucker. With that being said, you know, if your inner connection to God, like with me to some degree, breaks down, especially if your people are dead and that's your connection to God, your parents, then you're fucked. You know, you get on with a Baron Samity, which is an independent consciousness, a Yemeya, you know, shooting, you're better off. I can't even say that because somebody will wreck something in the spirit plane to make shit bad for me. This is dangerous. It's getting dangerous with this wetback bitch. Part of it. Anyways, with that being said, I ain't got time to hear that bullshit. You know, I saw her with a little kid, and I'm like, I'll bless both of you with what the fuck I got. You get soul swapped and everything. You don't want this shit. And this evil wetback ass bitch, I could hear it in my soul consciousness when I had it, moving around, altering shit, fucking with my inner entity attachments, roach spirits at times, making them do shit that they don't want to do against their motherfucking will, driving them to do shit that could fuck you up. And then, you got viable options, so you think, use frequency, and that gets hindered because all your entity attachments for that are in her consciousness. Your soul consciousness is in there. Your ability to produce frequency is in there. And, like I said, I wish I had a better fucking spirit team that could have averted this from the fucking beginning. I shouldn't even be cognizant of any of this. All of this should have got averted. If it wasn't for Baron Samedi, my fucking the highest selves and all of that, my Archangel Michael, who just want the power. Now this motherfucker dead in the spirit plane. I heard he can't come back. And it's not because he's dead. It's for other reasons, like I say, that evil ass wetback bitch. That going back to that May the 1st, 2024 timeline, I saw some signs saying, Bang, you're dead by Santa Muerte, and I heard they were going to do some cover that so that can't be seen in the spirit plane. So use 694, 695 hertz, and they'll try to manipulate that so that can't be seen. It's traumatizing, dealing with it. And because it's not something that can be seen exteriorly, physically, people don't take it as seriously, but the shit is real. I remember when I spoke with my mother before August the 20th, I've been wanting to put up another video, talking about the soul swap. And so much manipulation going on, but I gotta work with these frequencies. I'm gonna add the zeros and all of that, put the 2, just so I can make sure I get my shit back. I'm not gonna let people intimidate me in my own fucking body or run me out, as she's been doing out of my body. That's some evil, dangerous, treacherous ass shit, and that's a sadistic, evil, wetback bitch. I believe her name is Maria Tavares or Paraffin. And her Archangel Michael's name is Raul Vargas. I think her dad's name was that, and her Archangel Michael is based on her dad, who was a rapist. His name is Raul Vargas III. So I believe that's her maiden name. And I think her mom's name was Gertez or something. I use 694, 695 hertz. I know Vargas, so that's her maiden name. She keeps I keep feeling that she's intimidated every time I say that in my soul consciousness, which is scary. I have these little spirit, they try as hard as they can, despite their nature in many ways, to put me back, but it's tough having to deal with that, having a squint. You can't have a thought in your fucking, I was trying to work with Baron Samedi last night, who succumbed to that shit, and that's impossible. You got to find a better way, and I got to get some shit back. So, when I get off of this, I'm going to just play that shit and not let this bitch scare me. We got the resources. There's no excuse. So anyways, in the obstacle position, we got the 10 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Pentacles in this position represents you going through some type of hell. You enduring pure hell, and you going through hell to get something that you need. It's dealing with trying to overcome some and rise through, through friendships to get something back. 9 of Swords, that's the present position. And, I remember seeing that went back, Eliza, Elsie Serrano, Vargas, be totally fucking physical. My dad's Godhead noticed that. My God. 9 of Swords. That reminds me, our friend was saying, my God. Aaron saying what he was saying, just do your video. 9 of Swords. I see you going through and enduring a lot of anxiety, trepidation, and it's over a contemplation about something. King of Cups. It's a fear. snatched a lot of my consciousness last night. That's how you kill people. Soul consciousness is bad. This is ridiculous. I had my mom, Bridget, and Baron Samity. The Baron Samity and my mom, Bridget, come and help me out. King of Cups, that's the future position. You're going, I feel like there's deception there. You know, you think and hopefully you are going in the better direction. Hopefully things turn out for the best, but it's ambiguous. Four of Pentacles, subconscious. You think that you're in a stable predicament, but you got to know all the cards, see what's up. Five of Pentacles, goals. Going through hell. Enduring hell to get something back. You know, fighting something. So Five of Pentacles, going through hell. That's the goals, is to overcome, subdue adversity. Goals, advice card, the Sun, is to focus on happiness. Don't let shit intimidate you like I'm dealing with. Three of Cups, you're surrounded by a lot of support, a lot of betterment. Two of Swords, blockages, fears in your hopes card. You fear that there's people blocking your path, but they can't do it for longer. King of Wands, you're going to come out on top, but just be smart about things. With that being said, if you want a more personalized reading, please contact me at ravenbyterror22@yahoo.com, please.